With all this talk of artificial intelligence replacing jobs, a lot of people are asking, what can we do about it, both individually and collectively? So that's what this quick video is about. Now, obviously, there are lots of professions that won't be impacted directly by this latest wave of AI tools, but indirectly, everyone will be affected to some degree. I'm going to structure my thoughts here about what we can do into 3 different timeframes. The next few years, 2 to 5 years, and then 5 to 10 years. Now, okay, some people have already lost their jobs or parts of their jobs to AI, but lots of organizations are like lumbering container ships that are hard to turn around, and I think that alone could hopefully give many people at least a couple of years before the full impacts of AI get felt in their workplace. So what can you do during this calm before the storm? Now, I'm guessing that many of you watching have already been playing with some of these tools for quite a while now. But if you haven't, then you really should at least see what it's like having a conversation with ChatGPT and making some artwork with Stable Diffusion. You really don't have to be a techie to get going with these tools. They are very simple to use, and I've left some links in the description below to help get you started. It's fascinating to see for yourself what these tools can do. The next thing to do is to experiment with actually using these tools for real work that you need to get done. Now, I'm obviously not suggesting that you break any rules at your workplace, but you can try it on a project at home if you can't do it at work. I certainly learned a lot more about these tools by using them for real projects that I cared about. For example, you may have noticed that all my recent thumbnails are made using AI tools. And to get the results I want, I often switch between using Stable Diffusion for some things, and then DALL-E 2 is great for others, such as extending an image to a useful size. And I've used ChatGPT for programming projects, and experimented with using it to help my research, but not for my YouTube scripts. Doing that just wouldn't make any sense at all to me. And it's fun using these tools, and there are ways in which they can be genuinely useful. They've helped me get things done much quicker in the case of programming, and in the case of artwork, to a much higher quality than I could have done by myself. There were a few things that really didn't work well, but more interestingly, in every situation where these tools were genuinely useful, I needed to know what I was trying to achieve and how to iterate and combine the partial solutions into a credible whole. So one thing you can do is make sure that you've tried to use these tools for some real work. And, of course, talk with your colleagues about what they've tried out and what seems to be plausible to them for your industry. One reason I'm suggesting all this is because I think you should try to get ahead of any likely conversation with your clients or your boss where they ask you about AI and how AI can be most effectively used in your area. Often the pressure will be just to save time and money, but sometimes the AI tools will enable new things to be done that just weren't feasible before. Sad to say, but if you can't answer these questions for them in a useful and credible way, someone else will. For anyone going into training or studying, remember that AIs at this moment seem to be best used as what you could call a competence multiplier. If you're good at coding, it can help you code more. If you're good at writing, it can help you be more productive. So I think there is still huge value in developing new and better skills. But I'd focus on learning principles rather than specific tools, as a lot of the tools will change over the next few years. Use the next couple of years to prepare for what might be coming next. So I think that within 2 to 5 years from now, 2 key things will happen. Firstly, some of the rough edges of the current AIs will get sorted out. For example, the most obvious kinds of hallucinations by ChatGPT will get fixed. I'm not suggesting that it will become an oracle of truth, but just that, for example, if ChatGPT 6 or whatever makes a reference to an article, you will then be confident that the article actually exists and says roughly what ChatGPT says it does, which is not always the case today. Similarly, I think in roughly this time frame, self-driving cars will become commonplace and trusted to really drive themselves across whole countries. So the AI tools will become more solidly dependable and useful for specific tasks. The second key thing in this 2 to 5 year time frame is that this will be when the pressures on organizations to adopt AI at scale will become unavoidable. Big organizations will already be trialing how to use these AI tools, and within a few years, they'll have learned how they want to roll this out across the whole of their organization. It will certainly mean change, and it'll probably mean significant job cuts. Now, of course, it's going to be different for different sectors, and if you have been using AI systems yourself over the next year or so, then you should get a good sense of whether or not and how your area of work is likely to be impacted. You then either need to find ways to remain useful in the evolved version of your line of work, or for some people, the brutal truth is that they'll have to start thinking about what else they might be interested to do. There are still going to be plenty of kinds of work that can't be automated, but for some people, it won't be the career or wage level that they'd hoped for. But remember that if this round of AI automation doesn't replace your job, the next one might. So we need to develop a culture of solidarity towards everyone, rather than fostering a sense of individualistic survival of the fittest. So it's in the roughly 5 to 10 year time frame that I suspect the changes brought about by AI will start having significant impacts on the political sphere. If lots of people have lost their jobs and are having a hard time trying to find a new job that they want, it will become obvious to everyone that some kind of political change needs to happen. Because it's not as if AI systems will stop improving at this point. It'll be obvious to everyone by then that we're only partway through a major process of change on the scale of the Industrial Revolution. And, as happened in the past, the only way for society to cope with that level of change will be to organise a new political economic settlement. And, given how plausible it is to us now that this political economic change is coming, we ought to start discussing now what are the possible options for this change. If we don't have this conversation to shape the change, then others will, and the change will be imposed on us with the classic mantra, there is no alternative. But there are many alternative paths forward, so let's have those conversations and work out what new ways of organising society are becoming possible as a result of these new technologies. If we choose our path wisely, it's plausible that AI could usher in a new age of sustainable abundance in a good, healthy society with a culture of solidarity. But it's just as likely that we could end up with extraordinary levels of inequality maintained by a brutal authoritarian surveillance state. So, a key part of what we can all do now in response to AI is to get involved in these discussions and get organised, get politically active in some way to help steer our society towards a better outcome. We can't stop change from happening, but we can shape it. But I'm curious, how is AI impacting your industry? And how do you think people should be responding to this new wave of AI? And longer term, what in your mind could be a good path forward for our society as a whole? Please do continue the discussion in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching.